How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether the price is going up or down. Arkham on-chain Intel exchange labeled snitch to earn by crypto Twitter. So Arkham, a blockchain intelligence company, announced what it's calling the world's first on-chain intelligence exchange on July 10th. This is going to be alongside with a coin called ARKM. Many of the people on Twitter are saying that this is a snitch to earn or snitching as a service program, and they perceive ARK as a centralized intelligence agency that's going to take all this info and turn it in or use it against people. As Arkham stated in the announcement thread, there are numerous positive cases for the utilization of blockchain sleuths as information brokers. There's a lot of people, like on Reddit, you'll see a lot of people, if they do a transaction and they don't know where their coins go, a lot of time they'll reach out to someone on Reddit and a sleuth will help them find it, or you'll find some people on Twitter that'll help you. So this is a way where people that are helping you can make some money helping you, because users will be able to anonymously post and accept bounties for information concerning transactions on the blockchain, and once the bounty is accepted, whatever entity paid out the bounty will have exclusive access to the data for a period of 90 days. After this period, then Arkham says they'll release the data to the public. Other commenters wondered what considerations Arkham had given to the notion on the bounty marketplace that could place a target on the back of whales. So a lot of people are saying, hey, you could use this to track whales and kidnap people. So a lot of people are saying, hey, there are some really bad things that could be done with this. So hopefully we put some rules in place to prevent the bad actions from happening, or people just don't, the sleuths don't go for those kind of bounties, but we'll just have to kind of see. But there are some good implications, like I did say. Former SEC chair says Bitcoin ETF could be approved if these conditions are met. So there's not really much helpful in this article. Clayton said that if the applications can prove that the spot markets and the futures markets have the same protections and they have the same transparency and they aren't subject to manipulation, if that can be proved for these Bitcoin ETFs, then it is likely they would be approved. That's said within this video. He pretty much says it toward the end right around here. So if you're interested, that's pretty much what all this article is about. But quick announcement, we finally got our first sponsors merch, our shirts right here, Reaper Apparel Co. So if you like any of this merchandise, look at our link down below. We have a 10% referral link where you'll get 10% off your order. But this is the shirt I'm wearing right now where it says Racing the Reaper. They have pretty decent clothes. They also are a pretty good company because you can sign up for a newsletter where they can help you, send you some motivational things in the day, so that can help people that need help to kind of rethink their situations. Most of what happens to you is what you think mentally, so if you see a lot of negativity, you may want to take them up on their offer. It is free as well. So over onto the charts. We are trying to get bounce off the bottom of our channel for our total market cap. Stochastic is trying to run up. RSI is trying to run up. Our money flow is trying to break through that neutral. Our VWAP is trying to push through. So we are trying to get some bullish signals that want to push us higher. So we'll have to keep an eye on if our altcoins can manage to push up. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we're starting to kind of round away, so we are pushing down. RSI is still losing strength. Stochastic's starting to curl down. Momentum's curling down. VWAP is struggling above that neutral, and our money flow is still around this 20. Can't really manage to break through. If it doesn't get through this zone and gets rejected, we could see further downside. Bitcoin dominant, or Bitcoin futures, sorry. Alright, did dominance. Bitcoin futures is pushing down. Our stochastic still pushing pretty aggressively. RSI is starting to break down. Momentum's coming down as our VWAP's in the bearish and pushing away from that neutral. Our money flow is following the VWAP's trajectory, so they're kind of pushing in tandem, and they both are bearish, making new lows. So overall, not the strongest. Over on Bitcoin, we kind of whipsawed around. We tried to break through this support resistance area, but we managed to get rejected again. We are making this green candle on this node though, so that may be able to help push us through if we don't end up with a red candle tomorrow that pushes us lower. Our RSI is struggling to get above the 60, so if we don't get the stochastic to push bullish, we could see this start to drop. Our stochastic looks like it wants to make a bearish cross. Our momentum is pretty tight, like it could start to round up. Our VWAP's trying to break through that neutral, so if that VWAP can break through that neutral line, we could push higher. Our money flow is trying to get slightly newer highs as of recently, so that's a slight positive sign. However, we're at the 7 zone. If we don't push through and get some momentum, it's likely we'll reject and push lower. And that stochastic is bending like it wants to break bearish. Over on the 4 hour here, you can see we almost have a tweezer top, so this could be indicative of a push down. Stochastic's looking like it wants to make a bearish cross, so that could drop our RSI down. Our RSI is pushing lower, VWAP's pushing lower, momentum's starting to curl, and that money flow is starting to go to that neutral, and looks like it could break through. So if that does happen, we could see some bearish action on this medium time frame. Over on the 2 hour, our money flow is trying to maintain bullish momentum, but it's struggling. We are trying to get a push with this green candle, got pretty much a tweezer top here. Stochastic's pushing down, RSI's pushing down, momentum's rolling over with a red dot, our VWAP's pushing into the bearish territory. So if that VWAP continues, our momentum could come down, then we could see that our money flow start to push away. Over on the 1 hour, money flow is not looking too good here, pretty overbought. Our stochastic is pushing down, momentum's pushing down, VWAP's coming down. Our money flow wants to come through that neutral, but we may not be able to push through. We'll kind of have to watch it. If we do push through and go bullish, we would want to watch if we can maintain bullish momentum or if we just snap back under and see lower price action. Over on graph for the daily, we are getting a little bit of a push away. We're getting a long lower shadow candle here, so we could push lower. Stochastic and RSI are getting tight and pushing down, as stochastic looks like it's about to split apart and push lower. Our money flow wants to come up through that neutral, but it's struggling, so keep an eye on the next couple candles. If we don't make it through, we could see a rejection. VWAP is pushing away as well, so overall we're a little more bearish leaning than bullish currently. This does look kind of like a descending triangle too. Maybe a bit of a down channel that we pushed away from. This is kind of wide to make a even down channel for. Stochastic's trying to push higher, RSI is starting to push lower. Our VWAP wants to round out. Money flow looks like it's going to break through that neutral and could flip bearish, so keep an eye on that. As if that does happen, our medium time frame could become bearish trajectory. Our momentum wants to roll over as our VWAP is starting to roll as well, so keep an eye on that VWAP as well. Over on the 2 hour, we might have a little bit of a ascending triangle that we're tried to break from, but it looks like we are coming back into the zone and could push away from it. Stochastic's starting to roll over, RSI is looking a little iffy. It's going sideways, is making new highs, but if the stochastic starts to give up strength, the RSI could do the same. Our VWAP is starting to roll over, money flow is rejecting from that neutral, so our money flow is in the bearish on the 2 hour, so watch if that persists and carries over to the medium 4 hour. Our momentum wants to come up, but if that VWAP keeps coming down, that momentum's likely to push lower. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic is pushing away. RSI looks like it wants to get a little bit of a scoop up, but if that stochastic keeps pushing down, that RSI could bend the other way. Our momentum wanted to come up, but we're getting a red dot as our VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory and pushing down. Our money flow is making new lows and wants to push even lower. We'll have to see if it can push higher through this retest it's trying to make of this 5 zone. If not, we could see some further downside. If so, if it does break through, we could push to that neutral, and then if we do flip bullish, that would be good for us if we hold, as that could make the 2 and 4 hour go more bullish. Over on the daily, we are getting a bounce for anchor off the value area low, so that is good, but we're still within this wedge, so keep that in mind. Our RSI is overall getting lower highs and pushing lower. Stochastic's starting to wants to make a bullish cross, but it's starting to look a little weak, like we could roll over. That RSI is also shifting kind of flat, like it wants to go sideways and curl away. So I would definitely keep an eye on the next few candles here. Our money flow is struggling to break bullish, so if we aren't able to go bullish and sustain it, then we're likely to push back into the bearish zone, which we could see another downswing from. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, but it's trying to come up and give that momentum a bit of a round, so we'll have to see if it can break through and give our momentum some bullish trajectory. Over on the 4 hour, we are kind of just pushing down right now, getting a reversal arrow, so that could push us away. That would be a little worrisome, as we could push on the support again and break through possibly. So keep an eye out for that. Our stochastic is starting to roll over. VWAP starting to roll over. Money flow starting to push away. Our momentum wants to come up, as our VWAP is pretty strong, but that VWAP starting to taper down. So just keep an eye out, because if it starts to reject away, that momentum's likely to follow. That stochastic's pushing pretty good, but looking like it wants to curl, so keep an eye out for that. And our RSI is following that stochastic, so if we do start to curl and make a little bit of a divergence here on our stochastic, that would be a bearish divergence, then we could see some further downside. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic's starting to make a bearish cross and curl away, so we could see a little bit of a sell-off from here. RSI is pushing down, momentum starting to curl away, VWAP is pushing down, money flow rejected away from neutral. So overall, we're more bearish leaning, and with that money flow breaking bearish, we could see other things reject down. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic is pushing down pretty strongly, momentum starting to curl out. Our RSI is overall losing strength. Our money flow did make a bounce off that neutral, but we are struggling to get past this like 15 area. If we're not able to get past this area and we reject, we could see a curl to the downside. VWAP is in the bearish territory, but trying to recover, so keep an eye on if it can break through that neutral. If it rejects away from the neutral, we could see that money flow reject away and everything else curl away with it. Over on XRP for the daily, trying to push the top to this wedge, which is a descending wedge, so the opposite of anchor, which is a bullish pattern. Stochastic is trying to push up, RSI is trying to push up, money flow is ramping up, VWAP is breaking through the neutral zone and pushing us higher. Our momentum's getting a green dot because of that VWAP breaking through, so that is good for us. We are getting close to the top, so we could get an early break up, possibly, which might take us close to that resistance area up there, but it could take us around that 50-52 resistance that we had. So that would be good for us. Over on the 4 hour, we're kind of pulling away, so just watch out if we do push on the bottom. We did make several touches to the bottom, so just watch out if we do break this pattern. Our stochastic is starting to curl, RSI is pointing down. Momentum is running up pretty strongly, but our VWAP's starting to push down, so if that continues, our momentum's likely to follow. Our money flow did break into the bullish territory on the 4 hour, but it's struggling, so if we don't maintain bullish momentum on the lower time frames, we could see everything start to sell off. Over on the 2 hour, don't know why it gets so tiny. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic is pushing away here. RSI is trying to go higher. Momentum's starting to curl away. VWAP is overall getting lower highs and pushing down, so that could drag our momentum down. Our money flow is in the bullish territory, but it's starting to round off, so it's overall struggling to maintain this bullish momentum. If we do push away from here, we could see some bearish action. But that doesn't necessarily mean we'll break the pattern, just because we'll get a little bit of a dip. Stochastic is pushing down, momentum starting to curl away with a red dot. Our money flow is in the bullish territory, so that is good for us. Our VWAP's trying to push up, so we may invalidate this red dot in our momentum that's coming down. So that could help push us higher, but we'll have to watch if that VWAP can actually manage to break through and confirm. RSI is trying to push higher, but with that stochastic crashing down, it's likely to follow suit. Last but not least, for algo, we are kind of filling in some of these wicks still. Little indecision candle. RSI is still sliding, stochastics beat down, VWAP is trying to come up still, money flow is pretty stagnant, and our momentum is trying to round to the upside, so we may get a green dot if that VWAP can manage to actually break through. But the way this VWAP's hesitating, we may also see it round away. Over on the 4 hour here, you can see we're pushing pretty low through this volume profile. Little bearish engulfing candle here, so that is a signal that we could see further downside. Stochastics starting to round off. Not quite a divergence. RSI is pointing down, VWAP's rejecting away, so if this VWAP continues, this momentum that's starting to curl could get a red dot and push lower. Money flow is starting to break into the bearish territory and breaking pretty harshly, so if that does continue, our daily could get a sell-off. Over on the 2 hour, we're just chugging down pretty harsh. Just not really anything, not really a channel or anything, just kind of zigzagging around. So best case, we could make a little bit of a cup maybe and a handle, but we'd have to watch if that is even a possibility. It's not looking too likely unless we start getting green candles here push us up. Stochastic is starting to push away, RSI is starting to push away, VWAP's starting to push to that neutral and break bearish, so that's giving our momentum a red dot that could break it through back to the bearish side. It's like right on top of that neutral, so this would be a bad spot for it to reject from. Our money flow is starting to sharply come out as well, so everything's pointing to a little bit more downside, which isn't too good for anyone. At least anyone holding algo. We are getting a bit of a manipulation X after trying to get a green dot, so we might get a bit of a more downside, especially if we see another one show. Bearish divergence on our stochastic. Our stochastic is coming down, RSI is losing strength. Our money flow is overall getting higher lows, but starting to arch away from that neutral, so just keep an eye out. If it makes a lower low, we could see another downtrend. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory and pushing down, but it looks like it wants to curl up, so keep an eye on if that can pull away. If that does pull away, we could get a bounce here and see those green candles. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.